with that, knowing how your faith works in your own life, you have to know yourself first. It's always been a sense of calm, so I can get back to center, think things through, and make a stable and smart decision.
Okay, welcome to another edition of the Journey to Freedom podcast. And I am Dr. B. Brian Arnold, your host today. And every time we get to do one of these incredible podcasts, I get so excited about the information, not only that I'm going to learn, but the information that can transform your life and your lifestyle and the things that you do. This year in 2024, we are interviewing 100 Black men that are successful in their own right. And so we are at, I believe, Adam, you are episode number 90. So we got about 9 more to go between now and the end of 2024. We're recording this at the beginning of December. So we are going to hit our goal. What's kind of unique and fun is I don't think that this is going to be the end of it. I think this is just the beginning of something that is just special. The incredible themes that we've had this year of you being able to find, if you're subscribing or you're listening to or you're watching these, you'll be able to find so many people that you probably can identify with. So many people who have gone through some of the things you've gone through, and some who have not, some who are opposite of your life, but still have some just incredible stories to tell. And I think stories are my favorite portion of it. That's the part where people get to talk about their lives, talk about their upbringing, talk about what they were able to do as a result. Some folks have said, I think our last guest said, hey, my upbringing was great. I had no issues. It was fun. I did everything I wanted to. Then he started telling a story. You can say, "Oh no, I don't think that." Because we don't know. We're in isolation. We're in positions where we don't always get to see what other people are doing. And what's been nice is even different regions are different. I have somebody who was born on the West Coast, which is a lot different situation than somebody who was born on the East Coast or in the South or the Midwest. And so just finding out what it takes and what it's like being, a Black African-American human being in this country in this day and age. And so Adam, excited that you're on with us today, excited that you have taken up your time to be part of the Journey to Freedom podcast. And so, Adam is a West Coast person, and we can't wait to find out more about his story. And I was asking him earlier, what are you most excited about? He said, I get the opportunity to have another day on this planet doing other things that other people can benefit from. One of the prayers that I have every single day is, dear Lord, give me the wisdom to do the things that you put me on this earth to do in a way that pleases you and serves others. And so Adam is no different to that, and being able to serve others and doing what he does in ways that make sure that the individuals from all walks of life can take advantage of the things that he has to offer. So Adam, thank you for being on today. Thank you for being willing to spend the time with us to get onto this morning and to be able to tell us about what it is that's special, or not even special, just what it is that is Adam's life that could benefit us in ways that we can't understand. So thanks for being on. Go ahead and take it with your story, and then we will talk about all the other stuff and chop it up a little bit after that.
Well, shoot, I'm excited now. Jesus, you got me excited. Adam Lee Spencer.
All right, good.
Adam Lee Spencer, born and raised in Gloucester, Virginia. Member of First Baptist Church, Gloucester, Virginia. Gloucester High School graduate, class of 94. Former and current Hampton University student. Go Pirates. And as always, support your HBCUs. 20-year military vet. And now I work in sports management and sports business consulting.
What does that mean? Sports management consulting. What's that mean?
So I have the opportunity to represent athletes, obviously, in international basketball. Did soccer for about 5 years. We're working to get that back up started. There's new regulations in place, so hopefully in May we'll meet the requirements of those regulations and be back in soccer. Push it forward with basketball. Hopefully we'll get into some form of football this year. On the consulting side of that, I consult with sports rights holders for sporting events, sporting business acquisitions, and just involvement in the sports arena as a whole.
Gotcha. So you live in the West Coast now. You started out in the on the East
Mhm.
Coast in Virginia, or do you live in? Okay, so what is what's the difference? What was it like? What's the biggest takeaway you can tell me from flipping sides?
Well, Jesus, there's about 13 years in Germany in between all of the
Okay.
in between and a part of the flipping sides, if you will. Um, I think living out here in Seattle kind of fits me more, especially after experience of living abroad for so long. Um, Living out here kind of
Hmm.
fits me more. I do need some pace to life, but I can, but it, let's not get crazy about it.
Hmm.
I think the difference is one of the big differences is the pace of life out here juxtaposed to where I grew up. I grew up in the rural south, in rural southeastern Virginia. So, take that for whatever you will. Um, Life does not move that fast. It changes, but it doesn't change at a high at a quick pace. So, um, there's parts of that I honestly miss, and there's parts of it I don't miss at all.
Hmm.
I think living in Western Europe, living in Germany, Western Europe for so long, uh, introduced me to I guess, a little bit more cosmopolitan, if you will, lifestyle. So, being in and around Seattle does help with that. Um, it's got all the major city vibes without some of, without being as loud as some other major cities can be. I guess
Okay. Okay.
that would be the the major difference. Yeah.
Gotcha. And family wise, what is your family situation? You know, do you have kids? What is your situation with your family?
So mom, dad, all the family members back on East
Okay.
Coast. Um, no biological kids, not married. But I am bonus girl dad to one, to a 26-year-old. She lives in Athens now. And so that's where I get. I have to use my dad. That's where I use my dad abilities at with her. Whenever she needs me. Yeah, that's
I
it.
love it. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about identity, and
Okay.
you're doing the things that you're doing in order to serve people. And what do you think? What are some things that throughout your life that you believed helped shape your identity? That was it people? Was it coaches? I know you're in sports and stuff now. Was it just your family life? What are some of the things that created who Adam Spencer is?
So I tell people, if I was consistent, steadfast, a presence of stability, that was my dad.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was my dad. That's my dad. If I have any sense of style at all, any emotion, any passion, any caring, any sarcasm, that's all my mother. Um,
Okay.
so I get a lot from both of them, and it's actually worked out well in life. It's actually helped me out in life. Um, I think also I grew up in very conservative areas of the area of the world, and I think I learned and socialized by being kind of easygoing, in the background, laid back, willing to help, and so that honestly helped me along. as far as how I socialize and how in my military career.
Gotcha. So, so did you go straight into the military right after high school, or did you go to college
Yeah,
first? What
so
was your how did
started
that
out
work?
at Hampton University. Go Pirates.
Okay.
We are the real HU. We have no concern with that little school in DC. Outside of Kamala, we have no concern with that little school in DC. But hey, it is what it is. No. So I started out there in 1994. Had some plans for life. Started out in broadcast journalism. You know, just didn't work out for me at the time. Got kicked out of school for academics, and just ended up on my own. And next thing you know, I was in the military by May of '98, and in basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, what was then Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I'm sure they've changed the name of that. Um, and on my way to a 20-year military career, which I never thought I would have, but we're here.
Gotcha. So, are you still in the military? Have you retired yet? Or it's
I
just you're
retired
stationed
six
in?
years. I retired 6 years ago.
Okay, gotcha. But you spent 20 years in. Thank you for your service, by the way. How do you think the military shaped who you were or who you are? I guess now.
Um, the you know, there's a sense of stability, sense of direction, and I think a sense of focus that I got from it. Um, I think part of it too. It was a place where, to a degree, to a small degree, I could express my ego. Um, you know, I could express that innate ability I have to work with others, and kind of just be a part of the mix, not be the center of attention, but just kind of be a part of the mix, kind of be, you know, a part of the process, and that's something I've always connected to much more than kind of being the center of it all. I connected more to being a part of it, and that was something I always found myself able to do over 20 years.
Cool. So one of the things that we talk about a lot in the through the Journey to Freedom program is people's ability to trust. And whether you grew up in the South, grew up in the North, I think as Black men, we've all experienced times where our skin color dictated some of the situation that we're in. I don't know how it is in the military or in Germany, uh, but I'm sure it's there. And so when you think about trust and starting out with trust and having the ability to trust others, do you spend time think, hey, I don't trust anybody until they prove that I can trust them? Do you say, what, I'm going to trust everybody until they prove me wrong? What's the mixture in there? How do you show up being able to trust that the folks that are on the other side of things that you want to do are trustworthy?
um, I think you know, especially in the military, we end up in situations where, hey, you got to trust this dude whether
Hmm.
you like it or not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going along to get along a little bit, but some of that is there. As I've gotten older and I guess more cantankerous or whatever you want to call it, I think trust for me is, can I be Adam around you?
Okay. That makes sense.
And the follow on to that is, all right, if for whatever reason I'm okay being Adam around you, are you going to use that against me later on in life?
Mm,
So yeah, so
gotcha. And
that's kind of the that's kind of where I am with trust. Put it that way.
okay, gotcha. And then, so if you feel like you can't be Adam around people, and people are, you're just not sure yet. How do you approach them? How do you just kind of at arm's length, or I know it's different situation. Like if with your money, it's way different than if it's with your family or hanging out with somebody you know. What's that like?
Um, so that can be a number of things. I generally go into situations with folks at arm's length anyhow, off the top. Um, Certain situations you're gonna know I don't want to be around you. Other situations I'm I guess from experience and listening to people's reactions to me, uh, I guess I'll be a little bit standoffish
Okay,
or not perceived to be totally bought in, if you will. Um, that's
hmm,
because I'm
okay,
maybe not so much scanning the room, but scanning the situation like, okay, I'm listening to others like, okay, who can I and who can't I deal with in this situation? And a lot of times in that kind of environment or that kind of situation, I'm trying to find, okay, who do I think I can deal with? And I kind of, if there is interaction in there, I'm kind of gravitating to that person I think I can deal with, or that person, at least from a social perspective, I identify with, and then I'll figure out the rest. Can I truly deal with them? But
gotcha.
yeah, it's that. Yeah, I can't even hold you. I will come off, I guess, as a bit standoffish.
Gotcha. Now, I know you mentioned at the beginning when you were telling your story that you were part of a faith-based, a Baptist church that has probably been part of your life for a long part of your life. Um, what, how has faith played a part in not only you trusting people in your relationships, but as you walk through life and become the man that you have become? How has faith been a big part of that?
That's a great question because I would say maybe a week and a half ago, and I was just going about the day, and it hit me. Uh, I think I was talking to somebody, or somebody. Yeah, I think the kid might have been texting me.
Mhm.
No, it was the day before because she had texted me uh like a Tuesday. I think that Monday it hit me. The good Lord has always shown up bringing calm in my life. That and it's not this, moment of clarity or that stereotypical stuff we got sometimes from the black church and you hoop hollering and falling out and all that other good stuff. No, it's never been that. And I had to think about it too. It's never been that. It's always been the something happening to kind of get whatever was going on. My volume's on 21. My belief, my faith, the good Lord, whatever you want to call it, has always shown up to just turn the volume down to about 5. So I can settle, think, and function. Um, and I think with that, knowing how your faith works in your own life, you have to know yourself first. I think
Mhm.
too often sometimes we either get in trouble or get dismayed with our faith, with whatever it is we believe in, whatever that journey looks like, whatever that walk looks like, because it may not be this tangible thing I can lay eyes on or I can touch, taste, smell.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's always been a sense of calm, because I can get scatterbrained quick. you know um the littlest thing can happen and my brain will go 100 miles an hour. I may have an answer, I may have the fear of failure, and I may have clarity all at the same time, and it's all happening all at once. So like I said, it was a Monday not too long ago. It hit me. The good Lord has always shown up, or my faith has always shown up in the form of peace. I remember living in Europe at times, and just going through different things or just dealing with different things, and I would always kind of come back to peace, be still. And I don't know if it hit me at the time why, but like I said, that was maybe a week and a half ago now that it hit me. It was like, yeah, it's always been a sense of calm, so I can kind of get back to center, think things through, and make a stable and smart decision.
Cool. Sounds like you're very thoughtful, and so having a sense of calm and God helping you with that is helped you in your journey, as you want to think and make sure that the decisions you make are thoughtful, that will carry you through. Do you find yourself in situations where people want you to make quick decisions and fast decisions and move on with it, and you want to think about it more, or you just want to, I'm going to jump in and both feet, and we'll see what happens later? How does that work for you?
Yes to all of it.
Okay.
Yes to all of it, because I,
Cool.
you
Cool.
know, I found myself, obviously through your military career, there's times where these snap decisions, want to be. No, I want to think about it. And to me, if I have my own druthers, as they say, I might think on it too long or
Mhm.
think myself out of it. It's interesting that you brought up being thoughtful. I had never thought about it I had never thought about it in that nature. So that's obvious. That's something for me to chew on, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, obviously, and then you know, not only my military career, but just interacting with different people in time. They may want it now. I may need to. Hey, hold on. Let me breathe. Let's kind of think this through a little bit. But then, there's a side I've also been where I've made snap decisions. Sometimes I was right, sometimes I was wrong. And, it's also dealing with that too. But, the older I've gotten, the more I've realized how I need to think things through.
That's cool. That it, it depends on our personalities, right? It depends on are folks really wanting to hey, this is me, and I'm gonna charge, and and then we're gonna pick up all the pieces later, or I'm gonna carefully move through life, and I think both are are great and needed, especially when heated situations come up. And the person who is calm and can be thoughtful can sometimes make chaos seem a little bit more sensible instead of just chaos being chaos and igniting it. I'm the type of person, sometimes I will ignite chaos. Like, I can live in chaos, I can do a million things at the same time, have things going on, but I also realize in my relationships that can be overwhelming sometimes. And people just shut down. And as a result, they shut down sometimes angry, sometimes very sad, sometimes walking away. Whereas, sometimes they're like, hey, I should be a little bit more thoughtful and think things through and take my time getting. So when we think about, that whole bringing in your faith and bringing in who you are, is that something that is at the beginning of many conversations, or is just something people can tell by your example and your walk? Is it something you feel, hey, well, I got to tell everybody this is what I believe in because these are the principles that I go by, and if we're going to have these great relationships together, or just have a relationship, this is part of who I am? Or is it, hey, this is, you get 100% me right now, and you'll figure out who I am as we go?
It's never, very rarely, wow, very rarely have I been very, I guess, forward with my faith.
Okay.
And part of it is my kind of, standoffishness as far as interactions anyhow. But the older I've gotten, what I've also learned is that you know, I have to pick and choose who I give 100% to, who gets all of that. And that's part of that is I think that is part of it too. Um, I think also living abroad, having the chance to interact and engage with different people from different cultures, and you know everything that comes with that. Um, you know, the it's being very forward facing with your faith. That is a very American thing, I would say.
Okay.
That is I think from living abroad and interacting with folks from different countries and things of that nature, you'll figure it out with them. You'll figure it out along the way. Well, may not take long, but it's something that may happen. Pretty much happens along the way. When that happens, like I said, it may not take long. Sometimes it may, but I think that's a very American thing, to be as front facing as we are with our religion.
Do you think it's when we think about America and cultures, do you think it's a African American thing, a Caucasian thing, a Hispanic thing? When I think of races, and then I think of just cultures, different cultures in America, where maybe West Coast or East Coast. What do you see it more prevalent in different cultures, or do you think it's just American thing to say, hey, this is when you introduce yourself, this is who I am, and this is my beliefs, and you can, I'm bold enough, or I don't even want to say bold enough. I want you to know that, because if you're going to be my friend, then that's something you have to know about me.
I think it's an American thing across the board.
Okay.
But I do think as a country, we're challenged because we don't challenge some of the hypocrisy in our political and religious ideologies.
Ooh,
We don't
I like
challenge
that.
us. We don't challenge
You want to
us.
expand more on that?
We don't challenge
Yeah.
ourselves. Um, we don't challenge our policymakers. And to be bluntly honest about it, we don't challenge the church enough
Hmm.
with some of the hypocrisy that can be there with some of our political and religious ideologies. Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask about relationships and how important relationships are in your life.
Mhm.
And as we're getting to know you a little bit, I'm going to ask you like 10 either ors and then have you explain how relationships interact with the person you are. So if I say introvert or extrovert, which are you?
Introvert socially, somewhat extrovert professionally.
Okay, that makes sense. Thinking or feeling?
Thinking, because if I think, the only way to truly feel for me is if I think.
Okay. Judging or perceiving?
Perceiving.
Okay. I could see that. Assertive or passive?
Passive till you cross the line.
Okay, and then it's assertive. I like it.
And, and,
Open
and,
versus yeah, I like that.
and then I don't know. You don't know. Because you don't know
Open
where
versus
the line.
reserved.
Yeah, you don't know where the line is because I don't know. Because I don't know where the line is till you cross it. And then yeah, okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. And then once you crossed it, then
Yeah,
okay, here we
here we
go.
go. We're here then.
All right. Open versus reserved.
Reserved till I can trust you to be open.
Okay. Optimistic versus pessimistic.
Optimistic.
Okay. The glass is half full then. I like it. I like it. Independent versus dependent.
Independent.
All right. That was an easy one. Pragmatic versus idealistic.
Pragmatic.
Okay. Task oriented versus people oriented.
I can't get in out. I can't get into the task without the people. So people.
Okay. I like it. All right. Well, now, so thinking about that and who you are, how important are relationships and how do you develop relationships in that respect?
I think relationships are so important, but I think life has taught me each one needs to be managed differently.
Okay.
Um, and every relationship is not the same. Every relationship does not fit the same, I guess, fit in the same box. How I am with you doesn't mean I'm gonna be the same way with so and so up the corner. Um,
Mhm.
I think some of the going along to get along, or something, some of the having to work together, no matter what you think of, you know, that group or said person is also involved in that. So, um, you know, how I frame how I frame my relationships with this certain group is not going to be how I frame my relationships with that certain group over there. Um, there's situations where I know, okay, you're not getting all of me. I know it from the rip. I can feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's my perception, if you will. But, there's certain situations I can walk, nope, we're not doing this today. Nope. And, in those situations, those situations have kind of been tough at times for me because in those situations where I know it, I can be very short and curt with you. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But for me to manage this relationship, whatever that is, or manage this situation, okay. I already know I'm not giving you everything. So being very short, being very brief, being in, being out, to the point, let's move. That's more of a management of the situation. And I can't stand being like that.
Well, yeah, because you sometimes you might feel like people perceive you as that's how you feel, and you really don't feel that way. It's just it's just your way of managing the relationship until you feel like you can give more, and so
Yeah.
almost a way of protecting, right? Almost a way of protecting yourself.
Yeah. Because I feel like there'll be
From hurt
times.
or from these things going bad.
Yeah, there's times where I feel like maybe, hey, I need, as they say, protect the brand. I need to protect this brand in that situation. And I think sometimes, now especially my military career, people found me as coming off as very nonchalant or uh laissez-faire, if you will. But that was, or it maybe even standoffish. But that was because, well, wait a minute. Nah, I had a feeling like, look, I gotta protect me here. So this is what you're gonna get.
That's what you're gonna get. Gotcha. I want to pivot a little bit into to health. But before I do, because when I think about physical health and mental health and wanting to live these long lives, if the average African American male in America lives to 72, what are we doing to extend that?
Yeah.
But as a result, too, I think part of health is what are our goals and dreams. And so before you start talking about the health that's going to take you there, what are you looking forward to in life? What are those goals, vision, dreams? What's next for Adam in his life that he wants to be healthy for?
Taking over the world of sports management. Yeah. No. I want to live to see that child of mine, go wherever it is and do whatever it is she wants to do in life. Both my maternal grandparents lived to make it into their 90s. My maternal grandfather lived to be in his 80s. My paternal grandmother, she died when I was 5, so I really didn't get to know her. Both my parents are now in their 70s, so all things considered, we got a pretty good track record. I'm trying to keep the track record. More than anything, I'm trying to keep the track record going. All things considered. But yeah,
So what do you do? What do you do to make sure that that happens and you stay healthy? And how do you take care of yourself?
Well, it's obviously the physical side. I get most of my I get, yeah, about all of my medical stuff through the VA. Um, I'm I'm pleased and proud to say I have a good PC. I'm so glad I can say that.
Hmm.
Um, I've been able to use the system at times to where I've needed to kind of get out, get a provider on the community, get a black provider, in fact, on the community. I've been able to do that. So you know, the actual physical health, we working to drop 30 pounds to get back to somewhere where I was during my military days. But that the physical health portion of it, the services and the things that are around me, I'm actually, as far as the actual care, I'm pretty happy with. Uh,
Okay.
Obviously, I want to the weight I want to get down because I got sleep issues. I ain't even gonna hold you. Um, Severe sleep apnea, severe insomnia. So
Okay.
you know, those are things that I definitely, you know, from a physical health perspective, I want to work on because I've just come to understand that, you know, working on those things are going to get me to the other side.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Do you
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think the sleep apnea and the insomnia have to do with stress, or is it just the physicalness of your body and the uh, you know what what creates that, and then what's your I love talking about these things because a lot of people are just like you, where they're going, hey man, I'm not sleeping at night, and and I'm getting up and I have that apnea, and I don't know how to handle it. Is it in some of the things that you're doing to work through it?
Well, um, it's weird because um a lot of it, I don't. To be honest, I don't know if I slept well as a child. Honestly, if I'm truly being honest.
Mm.
But obviously, with 20 years in the military, you know, PT formations, you know, weapons draws at old dark 30, you know,
Mhm.
living in foreign countries, having to travel to foreign countries. Um, my body, I kind of acclimated my body to just make it through the week, whether it was whether it was a 5-day week, if we had a 4-day weekend, make it to Thursday. Um, and then sooner or later, somewhere between whether it was Thursday night or Friday night or Saturday, whenever my body would just give out and I would make up all the sleep. Well, that stuff's caught up to me now. So that's one of those things, yeah, that I'm seriously
So,
worried
so
about.
making up sleep is actually a thing you can do.
I Apparently not, because I'm still trying to. Apparently not. It's just a
That's
lie I
funny.
like to tell myself. Apparently, because
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you can make it up. You either get it or you don't,
no,
right?
yeah. But apparently, it was a good lie I told myself for years.
That's great. Oh, that is fantastic.
But
Um, oh yeah, it's so neat to to see. Okay, so mental health on that side of it. Are there things? I mean, you were in the military. I don't know if you all ever saw any active combat or anything throughout your 20 years, but there are folks that and people that have been part of your life that have had to deal with the mental health side.
mhm.
What's your thoughts and feelings about how we as Black men should handle mental health. And even though that we have, I think admitting that we need somebody or we need to, we don't know how to handle everything ourselves. If we did, we wouldn't be in that situation. What's your thoughts on how to navigate?
If you have access to and the resources to a therapist, get one. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Drill down further.
I have one.
Drill down further into that. Find a black one if you can.
Okay.
I have a black woman as a therapist.
Okay.
We talk 3 Thursdays out of the month. The state of Washington pays for it. Yeah,
Really?
I
Okay.
didn't know it at the time because I had one in the past, and I was paying for it out of pocket. But as I retired, I was, just looking into the different services that veterans get, and they were like, "Yeah, we can get you a therapist." Okay, can I pick the therapist on the community? Yeah, you can look. Okay, yeah. Because like I said, I had one before, from about 2010 to 2018 when I finally retired. Um, there was a lot of in and out with that, because going to Afghanistan, going back to Germany, so I didn't get to see her like I had wanted to. But as I retired, I kind of got away from it, and by about right before the pandemic started. In fact, I got to link up with the current therapist that I have, and it's been good. I've been able to say things and have conversations and get a perspective that I wasn't getting before. And it's no disrespect to the therapist I had before, but you know, you know, black person to black person, it's a very different conversation.
Why do you think that is? What makes it different than, you know, because you do have, and I think it's important, and that's why I want to bring it up,
Oh
because
no,
as we have these conversations, it's so important.
I think first and foremost, I don't have to explain as much.
Mm, yes.
Um, and I didn't realize it at the time until I'd had a black therapist, but she was much more aware or would be quicker to nip something in the, if I'm in the wrong or it's something, hey, why are you letting that bother you? She's quicker with that.
Mhm.
And I think we all need to take in the scene from This Is Us when Randall switches therapists.
Mhm.
Um, especially as black men. I think that's very, very important for us. So, like I said, if you have the resources and the access to it, go. You know, um,
Gotcha.
I think at times we've depended too much either on the boys in the crew, that bottle or weed or whatever else is getting passed around within that crew, or we're going to the other extreme of hooping and hollering and falling out in church on Sunday morning. And okay, we get that fixed, and then whatever we dealing with is right back with you at 7 o'clock Monday morning.
Mhm. Gotcha. Also, the man versus woman. When you think about a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
why you have a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is phenomenal, and she's helping you in many ways. When you're determining between a man or a woman to talk over things, um, some people say, "Well, I'd never have a woman, talking to me about anything." It's the other guy. What do you think is the how you figure out what you need?
Well, part of that was kind of the criteria or the restrictions of what
Oh, good.
Tri-West
Okay, gotcha.
was going to pay for. So first and foremost, I didn't know it at the time, but she was getting paid. She was getting paid from the state, so she really didn't need the insurance, the insurance that was going to pay for it.
Mhm.
So she didn't need. I didn't know that at the time, but because I was a veteran, the state of Washington pays her, which is great. But part of that, obviously with the parameters of that military insurance and who would accept it, and so I don't think I saw a black male within the region that would accept it at the time.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I don't think, or I couldn't get in contact with them. It was one of the two. But I think that's very important for us. You know, and part of that too with me, living abroad kind of got some of the old school ignorance out of my system.
Okay.
Uh, you know, yeah, living abroad, living in Germany, you know, and it's much more, at least for our standards, liberal society, especially Western Germany, Western Europe. It's a much more quote unquote liberal society. So I think spending so much time there really kind of uh what's the word I'm looking for? Obviously challenged my own ideals, but also kind of molded them. You know, I was 22 when I first got to Germany.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, spent 2 years there, came back to what's now Fort Cavazos, I believe it's pronounced.
Hmm.
Uh, for those that know Fort Hood, I was there for September 11th. Went to Korea, and then went back to Germany for another 7 years. Yeah. So uh, actually the majority of my adult life is there in Germany, which is crazy. Or put it this way, the majority of my yeah, I'd say about 75% of my adult life is abroad. Has
Wow.
been somewhere abroad.
Yeah. Wow. So, do you have any final thoughts? Anything that you want to, maybe something we didn't talk about or we didn't share that as we're coming down on our time here today, that you'd love people to know? This has been so enlightening, and taking notes and learn some stuff that I think it will help others.
So Tyler Perry's got a movie coming out about the 666 Postal Code.
Hmm.
So it's black women, the story that came out a couple of years ago about the black women that fixed the postal system during World War II. There's a there's a story that when black women were first allowed to join what was called the WACS, then Women's Army Corps, that when they enlisted, you also had to do your fingerprints and things of that nature.
Hmm.
So after they did their fingerprints and everything was signed, as far as their enlistment contracts and things of that nature, they held up two fingers, like the victory sign. And as the story goes, the two fingers were, one was for the battle abroad, the other was for the battle at home, which for me has always been so profound because You're talking about Black people, drill down further to that, Black women, and then the time period of World War II, where this understanding of where your fights are, where your challenges are. Obviously, we're going to this challenge or this fight, this battle abroad, while keeping cognizant what we have to do at home. Uh, when I first read about that and saw about and saw the story behind it, um, that was 2018, 2019. No, it's 2019 when I first heard about that. That has stayed with me ever since.
That's all right. That's cool. Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for spending the time that you did with us, and we will make sure that it gets out to as many people as possible. This has been so fun and so enlightening. For those of you who are part of the Journey of Freedom and you subscribe, please continue to subscribe, and we will look forward to seeing your future. Don't forget that you are God's greatest gift, and He loves you if you allow Him to. And then, Adam, we look forward to talking to you on the next one. Have a wonderful, just incredible day today, and we will talk with you soon.
Appreciate it, man. Grace, peace, and mercy to everyone around you, and stay in touch.
All right, I sure will. Thank you.